Yeah, good morning, all of you. This is second chapter, third chapter, second part, financial markets and institutions. Under this chapter three, second part, we are going to see the risk and return of the uh, investment. In this part two, we are going to see risk and return. And if you see this risk and return relationship, risk and return relationship, if you see this total risk is been divided into total risk is been divided into yeah the total risk, the total variability in returns of security represents the total risk of that security. Means you are expecting 10% return, whatever the expected return is deviating from the expectations. You are expecting a 10% return on your investment. The 10% may come or may not come. That is called risk. If it is results are deviating from your expectations, that is called risk. That is called risk. So under this systematic risk and unsystematic risk, there are two types of risk. The total risk is been divided into two types. That is systematic risk and unsystematic risk. What is this systematic and unsystematic risk? Let's see one by one. So I already told you that risk has been divided into systematic or non-diversifiable. Non-diversible means we cannot diversify this risk, systematic risk, or non-systematic or diversifiable. We can diversify, we can control somewhat. That is called non-systematic risk. Which we cannot control is systematic risk, which we can control is unsystematic, non-systematic risk. So like this, risk is been divided into systematic and non-systematic. Systematic is diversifiable and non-diversifiable, which we cannot control, and non-systematic risk, which we can control or diversifiable. That is what one thing. And systematic risk, if you see this, the meaning and the criteria of the systematic risk, the proportion of the variability of return, the variability of return. There is a variability in the return portion, that is called risk. So return of that security is caused by external factors is called systematic risk. The risk which is being caused with the external factors is called systematic risk. It is also known as a market risk or non-diversifiable risk. We cannot diversify this risk, and it is a market risk. It is which is not in our hands, which is in the hands of the market risk. That's why it is not it cannot be controlled. So the situations like economic, political instability, economic conditions. If a total country economic condition is not good, then interest rate would be less, and interest rate maybe get fluctuate, and economic policy maybe influence your investment. So economic policy we cannot change. That's why which is not in our control. Political instability, because of that political decisions, companies' strategies may change. Companies may lose the profitability. With that, you may lose your share value. You may lose the dividends, and banks may not function properly like this. So the factors which are not in our control are coming under systematic risk. So economic recession, macro policy of the government, etc. All these are all the factors which affects the price of the shares systematically. Share prices, especially share prices and investment returns, may be influenced by external factors. Thus, the variation of returns in shares, which is caused by these factors, is called systematic risk. The variables which is causing like economic, political, government, macroeconomic policy, all these factors which are causing your investment returns, this is called systematic risk. So this is what one thing we can say, that systematic risk. And systematic risk, if you see this one by one, systematic risk has many factors. Like one by one, if you see this risk due to inflation, if inflation is not under control, then price of the goods and services are maybe increased. With that, immediately government may interfere, and they may control the interest rates and inflation rates. So like this interest rate risk, when interest rate is been reduced, your bank deposits and all investment may be reduced, so that you cannot control. Political risk, because of political issues, economic policies may change. Due to the economic policy changes, companies may get affected. When company is getting affected, when you invest in that company, then you may lose the value of money. So market risk means like international factors, like international stock market will influence local stock market, because we have FDI and FIs, foreign direct investments, and foreign institutional investors. They are investing. Due to this international market factors, you may lose the value. Risk due to government policies. When government policy is changing, interest rates and investment strategies may change. So due to that, your investment returns may get fluctuate. And natural calamities like earthquakes, cyclones effects. So with that, weather conditions, investments may get influenced, and your returns may get influenced. Scams, government scams, political leaders scams will influence your investment returns. And monsoon, when monsoon is good, farmers may do well. If they produce well, then economy grow well, so that industries will do well and companies will do well, and your investment would be good. So like this. Next, industrial growth. When a particular industry is there, as say for example, liquor industry, like alcoholic industry, if they do good, then companies will do good. If they are not well, then your investments may get influence. And international events like US and China war, because of that, your imports may get affected. All import companies may face the problem, and they may lose the investments and returns. So in that way, if you invest in that import companies, you may also, as an investor, you may also lose. Next, one more thing, the war-like situation. Any war between, say for example, Kenya and Ethiopia, is there any war? Then because of that, your investment may get affected. So like this, these are the various factors which are influencing externally, that is under systematic risk. And non-systematic risk, if you see this non-systematic risk, under this non-systematic risk, the return from the security sometimes varies because of certain factors only with the company issuing the security, such security, like internal factors. The factors which are influencing the risk is called systematic risk. Examples like raw material, only it is particularly related to company only. The factors which are influencing the factory decisions, like company decisions, like examples, raw materials, lack of raw materials, company may not do well. So that's why it is the internal factor. And labor strike, because of labor strike, a company is not working well, so they cannot produce well, they cannot sell well, so their profits may be reduced. And if you invest in that company, that profits may be come down to on your investment. So management efficiency, if management fight together, board of directors, there are inefficiency, they are not making efficient policies. With that, company may lose the value. When the company losing the value, automatically your investments also will lose the value. So when the variability of returns occurs because of the such firm specific factors, company specific factors, it is known as a unsystematic risk. So it is very clear the risk which has been happening with the company internal factors, that is called a non-systematic risk. So non-systematic risk, one by one, if you see this one by one. Business risk. Business risk means there is a huge competition. You are unable to beat the competition. So other competitors are gaining well. So because of unable to do the business with the competitive business. So that's what one thing is. A business risk is one of the systematic risk, a non-systematic risk factor. And financial risk, because they are selling, they are doing good, but they are selling all the sales on credit basis. They are unable to collect back the money from the customers. Then if they are unable to collect the amount from the customers, then bad debts may increase. When bad debts are being increased, then company lose its value. And if there is a cash flow problem, then it's lose its business. They cannot pay to the supplier. Supplier cannot send you the material. So like this, the total business will get affected with this financial risk. So that if you borrow more loans from the outside also, it leads to financial risk. You have to pay more interest rate, and risk due to uncertainty. Uncertainty means don't know next 1 year what will happen. Any new product may come, tough competition may come, and any like now COVID, Corona situation, many businesses are being closed. So with that uncertainty, it may happen, and disputes among the internal staff, internal directors. So all these leads to non-systematic risk factors. So these are the non-systematic risk factors. And if you see this risk-return relationship, risk-return relationship, if you see different stocks, if you see, this is the rate of return, x-axis, and y-axis is like a degree of risk here. And if you see this level of risk and return, this is return, this is a degree of risk. If you see this mortgage loans, government stock, it is very risk and very less return. And debentures with a floating charge means floating interest rates, means the interest rate keep on changes. Next level of return and risk. Next, the higher the graph is going up, the higher the return, higher the risk. So what is the ultimate final rate of return and rate of risk is more for ordinary shares, like preference shares. These two, that's why the share market investment is highly profitable as well as highly risky instruments like this. So like this, the risk return relationship based on this investment alternatives can be shown in this graph, risk return relationship. And if you see this risk and return analysis, return on security and a single asset consists of two parts. Okay, like a risk return relationship, a single asset, if you see this return is equals dividend plus capital gain rate, because the dividend plus capital gain rate means the company profits may be distributed among the shareholders, that is dividend. The dividend plus capital gain means today you purchased last month you purchased one share 100 bir each share. Now that share is been increased to 120 bir. The 20 bir is a capital gain. So when you are investing in stock market, you will get the two types of benefits. One is dividend, company profits, share distribution you may get. One more thing, the share value increase. When the share value has been increasing, that is called capital gain. So two benefits you may get. So how do we calculate the risk return on this investment? Return on this investment, D1 plus P1 minus P0 by P0. So where R is equals rate of return in year one, and D is equals dividend per share year one, and PO is that beginning price of the year, and P1 is the ending of the share, ending price of the share. P0 beginning price of the share, P1 is the ending price of the share. So here you have to take dividend and P1 ending price minus beginning price by beginning price. If you put this return percentage, you may get it on each investment. And risk also can be calculated on each investment. Risk refers to the dispersion of the variable. You are expecting something and it is deviating from your expectation, that is called risk. So it is measured by variance or standard deviation. So variance is the sum of the squares of the deviations. The actual returns of average returns can be calculated like this. Variance, sum of Ri minus R whole to the power of return 1 minus return 2, means starting return and ending return. Starting of the year and ending of the year return by square we can make it, and standard deviation, variance square power of 1 by 2. Like this we can calculate the return of a particular investment, risk of the particular investment. So like this is the average return and risk calculation formulas for this. So thank you for with this second part of the third chapter has been completed. With this we total completed a third chapter. Thank you for listening to this.